Warm welcome to you all, ladies and gentlemen, to SME Channel's series of conversation with IT leaders. Today, my guest is Mr. Rahul Sharma, Managing Director, India and Cypher LogMe in, and we'll try to understand from Rahul about what is there in his head in terms of 2021 plans, in terms of channel, and in terms of empowering the channel. Rahul, warm welcome and thank you very much for taking time out and speaking to SME channels.
Thank you for having me here, Sanjay. It's always a pleasure talking to SME channels and your wide network of readers and followers.
All right, Rahul. Rahul, we know that situation is not good. The second strain of COVID has come again. So my first question would be, what is your thoughts, ideas about the sentiment in the market?
Yeah, it's a pretty worrying situation if you see around you. I mean, this wave, the second time around, it seems it's much larger hitting than the first time. And in the first case where we saw a lot of people getting impacted by it, but there were better recoveries. People were still trying to figure out what to do. This time around, it just seems like it's that much more intense. So my hopes and prayers for everybody out there who's undergoing this, either themselves or their families, and we hope that everything will work itself out and everybody will be back, safe and sound.
All right. Are you on behalf of the company LogMe in doing something about it in terms of supporting any kind of through your CSR activities to maybe the affected people or your partners or the customers?
Yeah, absolutely. We are doing our bit in trying to help. First and foremost for us, our employees and their well-being and their families' well-being is of utmost important. So we are trying to see what all we can do from our end in terms of supporting that first. Making sure that all of our employees around the world, whatever care and protection that they require, both from a medical standpoint as well as financial standpoint, we are doing a lot more than what we can do, and participating there. But that's also intensifying our efforts around what we are doing in the community with our CSR activities. So we are, a lot of our employees are contributing volunteer time, contributing, resources pooled across from various employees across the world to help out, whoever is needing support of any kinds during this second wave of the pandemic. One of the things that we are internally discussing, which is sort of not finalized right now, but we have facilities in India where we have spacious offices. How can we convert some of those offices into probably quarantine zones for people who need it, or what have you? And our basis of our other offices globally, can we look at procurement of maybe vaccinations or medical equipment and send that over to India. So like everybody is putting in their efforts, we are trying to figure out what's the best way we can support our employees, our customers, our partners across. From a pure technology standpoint, what we have begun to do is, you remember I talked to you about when the first time around the pandemic struck, was we were giving emergency remote work kits to all of our customers, which had a suite of our products which they could use for a period of time for free. And we are restarting that for India now. And this time we're not just going to restrict ourselves to our existing customers or our existing channel partners. We're going to go all out and give it to anybody who requires that in a business environment. So last time we were giving it to some not-for-profit organizations, educational institutions, but we are opening that up to anybody who wants to use it this time around. So I know, there are organizations who may need this technology, but may not know how to get it from, or where to get it from, and we want to make sure that this time around everybody is covered in that. So that's a bit of work that we're doing on that front. You will start seeing some of the marketing activities around that starting off in the next week sometime.
All right. So what is your business prediction now? Are you going to change the prediction you had, or the target that you had kept in your mind, set for your team? What is going to happen now?
No, I don't think so. We're changing any predictions around the business. In times like this, our technology becomes even more relevant for use, and I think that it only helps us, solidify on our mission that we have to put our technology in hands of organizations where they can use it to work or get work done from anywhere. And we just want to make sure that our availability of the product, the ease of use of the product, and everything around that, it just seamlessly integrates into a customer's environment.
Okay. So any particular strategy that you are planning, for example, strategy for the channel partners that they should be implementing this time, or you are giving your ideas how to tap into customer segments, or newer partner benefit that you'll be launching? If you can throw some light on that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think what we need from our partners is to basically take our message to their customers as well in terms of the emergency remote work kit. Sanjay, it's not lost on me that there is a lot of information overload right now, so people don't understand what that really means. But what this essentially translates into is that anybody who is in India who's trying to get their workforce to start working remotely and is not ready to do that can use any of the LogMeIn technology to do that without paying LogMeIn anything. We're not concerned about whether there is a monetary benefit coming out of that for us right now. We just want to make sure that the first time around, the companies that were hesitant on getting onto the bandwagon and were impacted by this seriously do get the benefit of utilizing this again. We are expanding beyond just what we were giving earlier to almost all of our product suite.
Okay. So there is no channel involvement, strategic channel involvement, or you are doing something.
There is a lot of strategy. Okay. There is a lot of strategic channel involvement because we can only reach out to so much of people in India, but we want the messaging to be taken to market by our channel partners as well, in which they can go and essentially communicate on our behalf of what they found relevant. And most of our channel partner in Lockdown 1.0 actually embraced a lot of LogMeIn's technology. So they are now aware of how they can take their entire operations and start working remotely, and that's the best experience that they can take to their customers as well after 8-9 months of having a first-hand experience of using that. A lot of our channel partners have actually not gone back to office. They've continued to work remotely even after the things started easing out a couple of months back.
All right. Now the other thing is that customer care is becoming very bad these days. I mean, if you look at banking sector, airlines, whoever you call, nobody is picking up the call. All are automated, and that automation system or the AI involved into it to resolve customer queries are premature. But I mean, there is nothing to do. They cannot also do anything because in hurry they had to implement in order to make the social distancing and remote working. So how equipped are you in terms of customer support, customer engagement, and are you do you have any mechanism to bridge that gap?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a very important factor for anybody who's looking at using any kind of product, right? What happens if I'm not able to use it properly, right? In our customer support efforts, we've made sure that the availability of the availability of our customer success executives is far stretched beyond what the normal working hours are. We've also increased our size of the team in that space. What we're also doing now is we're working closely with a few of our channel partners, in which we are actually taking our first level of support, being done by our channel partners. So that's a very big shift in our thought process itself, in which we are really investing in enabling and training a lot of our channel partner executives to be the first line of information to support our customers, right? And that's something that we started building over the last couple of months. We have a few channel partners who are ready to do that, and we want to bring more scale into that to make sure that the post sales experience for any of our customers does not dip down because of the nature of what's happening around with the pandemic.
All right. Well, one more thing, you see all the employees, all the large companies, I mean, many companies, employees have moved into their villages, right? Where the network is not that good, and they're using their own, sort of infrastructure and everything. And there is huge challenge from the collaboration point of view. And you are a handy organization for them as well. Are you able to map those? Are you able to address those things? If you are able to address, then well and good, because people have moved into tier C, D class cities, even villages, right? Are you able to track those people or organizations and give them services, because there is a need in the market?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the best testament for us is to see that happening with our own employees. Our own employees have moved back to their hometowns, and I'm not talking about tier B, tier C cities. Even in the remotest of place in various parts of India that you may find, right? And there are challenges associated with the last mile internet connectivity, which is probably the best solutions for those is the availability of the dongles that you may have from any of your service providers. But we've sort of tried to figure out how we can make our products a little bit more lighter for users as well, so that they don't increase the load on bandwidth by opening up everything, right? So if you think about GoToMeeting as a platform, there is a commuter mode on GoToMeeting, which means that if you're accessing GoToMeeting from your phone, you don't need to be on camera. You don't need to have an audio enabled all the time. If it's required for you to speak, you can unmute yourself and speak. But if the moment you hit commuter mode, the usage of the bandwidth for internet drops down drastically for a product like GoToMeeting as well, right? So we're thinning out the bare essentials, what is required out for the product to operate efficiently, and make sure that even in areas where there is a challenge on bandwidth, you still are able to make do with the most thinnest version of the product.
Okay, are those being addressed from a city perspective? For example, Bangalore or Delhi or Bombay, where your employees are available, or your distributors are available, or those are also being addressed from smaller city partners?
It is being taken by both kinds of partners, even in the larger cities. Network is not the best even in larger cities. There are some parts of large cities also which are, and depending on which provider you use, there is always a challenge around network. So I mean, these features are irrespective of where the cities are. Wherever the product is being used, these features will be available to a partner or to a customer or a user.
No, I understand that. I'm asking about the opportunity being addressed. Those opportunity lying in, say, Kozhikode, which is pretty small in town. Are you engaging the Kozhikode partners there? Because you may not be having your partner there. Are you trying to? I'm alluding towards your partner engagement and expansion mode.
Absolutely, you're right. Yes, over the last one quarter, in the first quarter of this year, which is Jan to March, we've seen a lot of net new partners come on board. First time transacting with LogMeIn. And what's interesting is they're coming from smaller cities. They're coming from a Trivandrum. They're coming from a Coimbatore. They're coming from a Nagpur. They're coming from Ichal Karanji and places like that. So there is a good influx of partners coming from that smaller cities. Jaipur.
All right. Excellent. Rahul, you have got Center of Excellence or some R&D center out of Bangalore.
Right.
You are using that center for any customization for India specific products or solutions, or servicing those products and solutions, or it is a pan global kind of center where you address the queries or any challenges from that center.
Yeah, so that's a great question, because what it started off, those operations, when they started off as support to our global centers, but it's very quickly translating into how localization of work can happen, not just for India, but also markets like Southeast Asia. Every geography in Southeast Asia is unique when it comes to language requirements. It's unique when it comes to the way the product is used there. So we're thinking, we started the initial framework and blueprint is being formed right now. But yes, I mean, it's our endeavor to go in that direction to make sure that we are, making products that are specific for a market, which helps us, achieve a better penetration, a user friendliness, availability in that market for the product.
Okay. Now, the other question is that some of these sectors are not doing good for a long time, and the status quo will remain the same, not going to change anytime soon. So where your focus lies now? Maybe you can give me in 3 parts, maybe for a quarter, for half year and full year.
Yeah. So, I mean, we thankfully, we have customers which are from small startups all the way up to large enterprises, right? And while we have different teams which address these 3 different spaces, we do not prioritize one over the other. However, that said, what our priority clearly is coming out for both short-term and long-term is channels and partnerships. We've really invested a lot when it comes to building out our channel and partnership infrastructure, not just in India. I mean, starting this year, I'm also handling markets in Southeast Asia, which means everything from Korea to Myanmar and everything in between. There also are the design to go in that market is basically channel first. And, there are success stories coming out of what we are doing, what we have done in India. We have 3 distributors in India. One is extremely excited about taking up a Sri Lanka market and going with us there, right? So they are very keen and on board, and they started off with their initial level of hiring in Sri Lanka, setting up office there, setting up a place where they can transact from, getting your licenses, whatever is required for that. So there is excitement which is around the channel and partnership. That's one focus area that we have identified both for short term as well as for long term. The second is we are going to be bringing in very exciting products into India, products which are not available earlier. For example, LastPass, which is a secure password vaulting system, federated password vaulting system. On the 3rd of March, we actually installed the servers for LastPass in India. Now, what that means is that the moment the India Data Protection Act comes in, I'm keen on seeing how early it can come out. It will make sure that any password breach in India does not get unnoticed. Right now there is no accountability on anybody, any organization. If you lose if there's a breach because of your app, and there are very successful apps in India right now, right? If you see them, people are signing up for them like crazy. And what happens if there is a data breach of your password being leaked on that? it compromises a lot on your security parameter. Right now, we don't have any way in which we can enforce organizations to take security down to that level and ensure that there is no unreported data breaches, for which there is no accountability at an enterprise at a product level, right? And we're getting prepared for that already. We put in our own servers. We host LastPass in India. The regulations is the compliance is as per the perceived Indian Regulation Act, and we're ready. And like that, we will be bringing in a lot more products into the India market, which we've not done so far.
All right, and by the way, congratulations to you for your new role. Larger geography now you are handling, so it has got multiple benefits to India as well. You are handling some geographies which are mature in terms of technology adoption. So, can we see any inter-region practice exchange or governance exchange happen for your channel partners?
Oh yeah, absolutely. My one of the things that I'm most inspired to do right now is basically see that the whole of Southeast Asia, and I include India in that, becomes a channel first business for us, which means that we have our go-to-market model changes from being direct mostly to being partner orientated, and we want to see how we can cross leverage learnings which are coming out from all of these markets into each other, right? So I know my channel team is the most engaged and and excited bunch of people inside the organization, and because they're working on new things, they're working on futuristic or the future. They're working on the things that the company wants to invest in for the future. So they're all pretty excited about it, and likewise, I also find the similar excitement coming out from our distributors, our channel partners, who are encouraged by how they can expand their business from what they were traditionally doing just in India.
All right, excellent. So last question I'll be asking you, which are the segments?
Yeah.
Okay. Last question I'll be asking you about which are the segments driving your growth, where you are pinning your hope on?
You mean vertical segments in the market?
Absolutely, absolutely. Where do you see that business is going to come now?
Well, I think our biggest mix of business comes from IT/ITES, which has traditionally been as far as a percentage of business is concerned, that's a significant chunk of it. Financial services, insurance, financial services, I would say any business which requires technology as a fundamental to run, we are focused around that. We did see, interestingly, what we're also seeing is a little bit of an increase in some of the more traditional businesses where we didn't have too much of representation earlier. But they're also, manufacturing, and I mean process manufacturing, where you're working in remote areas in plants. We're seeing adoption of technology coming up there as well.
Excellent. Thank you, Rahul, very much for coming in and speaking to us. If you have any message at this juncture of time for the channel partners or the customers, please, feel free to pass on your message.
Yeah, thank you, Sanjay. And my wishes are, and my prayers and my wishes are with everybody in India, our customers, our partners, our associates who we worked with, our friends, colleagues, and their families. It is tough for all of us. I know that the situation it can be stressful, and not everybody has the right answers to what should be done. But I just wish that everybody keeps themselves safe. In some way or the other, a big contribution is that as well. If you don't get impacted by that, you don't, further spread it out. Maintain social distancing, wear masks, sanitize, and be safe. That's what I wish and pray for everyone.
All right, I also wish the same thing for everyone in this fraternity. Thank you, Rahul, and stay safe.
Thank you, Sanjay. Take care.